Is protein the most important nutrient, and how much is needed?
Oh, that's the $1 million question with GLP patients because I was just saying, Phil, that I watched a video on YouTube by a doctor of physical therapy here recently saying that a person should probably get about 2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight, which in exercise physiology is almost important. I'm sorry, it's almost impossible to get because most people take about zero point 0.5 to 0.75 grams per kilo of body weight. In other words, they don't eat enough protein. What most doctors like Peter Attia, who I mention in the book, Dr. Attia is very much into the whole protein question, both in athletics, and he's also spoken about protein with GLP-1. And his recommendation, and my colleague Dr. Stephanie Rimka, who I spoke about in an earlier video, they recommend trying to get up to about 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilo body weight. But that's always going to change because in GLP-1, you may go from, I'm going to say the equivalent of pounds, 220 pounds down to 180 fairly quickly. So you're going to be losing 15 or 20 kilograms in a relatively short period of time. So your protein needs are going to change based on your kilograms of body weight. Dr. Attia and Dr. Rimka both talk about the fact that you should probably be eating steak, you should probably be eating organ meat, etc., to get high quality protein. That's kind of up for debate these days because the quality of meat in the United States is not that great. For years, though, I've been taking and I've been recommending for medical patients the master amino acid pattern, which is an essential amino acid, and it has the highest amount of what's called net nitrogen utilization in the industry, whereas most organ meats are absorbed at about 50%, so their nitrogen utilization is about 50. And surprisingly enough, most protein powders have a net nitrogen utilization that is even lower. It's around, they're only absorbed at about 20 to 40%. And I thought that was pretty shocking. But the master amino acid pattern absorbs right out of the stomach. It absorbs in around 20 to 23 minutes, and its net nitrogen utilization is about 99 point some percent. So however many tablets you take, they're going to absorb. What I liked about using MAP with patients who are undergoing chemotherapy, who were bariatric surgery, who had diverticulitis, who were having irritable bowel syndrome, etc., they were having trouble digesting food. So we would put them on the master amino acid pattern, and their digestion and energy and protein needs actually stabilized really well. I see the master amino acid pattern and other types of supplements that are similar to it that have a high net nitrogen utilization is probably the best source of protein that you can give to someone with GLP. And let me explain. When you take this medication, it actually causes what's called gastric paralysis. So the intestines, the motility of the intestines, the peristalsis almost comes to a screeching halt. So if you don't have peristalsis and you're not digesting the food and you're not hungry in the first place, you certainly are not going to get your protein needs based on what Dr. Attia or even the physical therapist had said. Taking something like master amino acid pattern will allow you to take 5, 6, 7 tablets in the morning and the same amount at night, and you will be able to absorb almost all of that protein right in the duodenum. And it may take a little longer because you're taking GLP, but it's the only thing that you're absorbing, and it's probably going to mostly get into the cells, which means that you're going to have a much better mitochondrial utilization, and I think henceforth your energy is going to go up by leaps and bounds.
Where can I learn more about protein intake and GLP-1?
I have some links in the website for master amino acid pattern, and I talk about that pretty extensively. So if you log on to medhealthfit.com and click on to the GLP-1, you'll get some more information.